Good. It just turned afternoon all, and thank you for joining us for our post-draft conversation with Immanuel Quickley. I'm Monica McNutt, host of MSG AM. I hope you'll wake up at 8 Monday through Friday and check us out. But we are certainly not here for me. We are here to meet one of the newest members of the New York Knicks, the reigning SEC Player of the Year, and the New York Knicks' 25th draft pick. He is the one and only Immanuel Quickley. Immanuel, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so off the top, last week your life changed, a dream was fulfilled. How are you feeling after having the weekend to process it all?
I'm feeling good. I'm just grateful that the Knicks picked me. Thank God, that he's blessed me through this journey, and I was just glad to have my family with me, through the whole process.
All right, so speaking of the process, give us the inside look. Let's start Tuesday evening and then work us through Wednesday and then hearing your name called that night.
Tuesday evening, I was actually trying to really just get in the gym. My agency told me I'm not allowed to work out for the next 2-3 days. So I was just really trying to find stuff to do. But my family came in, so that was good. Got to see them. Hadn't seen them in about 2-3 weeks. Got to see them. We got some food, chilled. And then, draft day was just, everything I could have dreamed of. So it was cool.
A big part of draft day, even though this year was virtual, is the draft day fit, Immanuel. And when you came and hung out with us this morning on MSG AM, I saw your suit. Now you got this great color sweatshirt going. What were you wearing on draft day?
I had a suit from Indochino, blue with white stripe, blue bow tie, and then I had some custom Kentucky white loafers that I had made from a guy I know in Kentucky.
Wow. So the blue was Kentucky blue.
Yeah, or Knicks blue, either one.
I like what you did there. Okay, all jokes aside, this year was certainly one unique unto itself in terms of the time between the draft, which was unusual. In terms of your preparation leading up to the draft, what was the most challenging part, having been robbed essentially of the NCAA tournament back in March, and then now we're looking at a shortened NBA season?
I think the biggest thing was just how long the process was as far as the draft. Usually when you get done your season, if you go far in March or April, it's a quick turnaround. You get 2 months pre-draft and then you're right to it. June, you get drafted. But for us, it was, the season ended like early March, and then we had all of this time until November for our pre-draft. So, it was just really, you had to really be locked in to, try to get better each and every day because it was such a long process.
So how did you stay locked in then? Was it a combination of, I know you had to do your physical workouts, but I'm assuming you were interviewing with teams via Zoom and so on?
Yeah, I think it was really just for me individually, just trying to remember the goal, which is trying to, not only get drafted, but really just become the best player that I can be, which is looking past the draft and looking towards the season and things like that. So just trying to get better each and every day was really my goal for myself.
How did you pivot, Immanuel? Because I remember in March, literally when the NBA stopped, we were on set at MSG at the networks across from the Garden, and I was actually preparing to get ready to cover the women's NCAA tournament myself as you were getting ready for SEC tournament and the NCAA tournament. How did you pivot? Because COVID was so weird and so jarring for all of us. You go from something that you had looked forward to, you had earned SEC Player of the Year, that's taken away from you, but you have this unique opportunity to pivot toward a very exciting future. How did you make the pivot?
It was, like you said, it was kind of weird just because it happened so abruptly. I feel like, if we had got to play, our team would have went really far, and I think that would have helped a lot of individuals, our team, and I think it would have helped myself a lot. But, I'm always somebody that tries to look at the glass half full instead of half empty. So, you enjoy playing with your teammates and your coaches and things like that, but just trying to look towards my future. I had to try to get ready for that as quick as possible.
Yeah, you mentioned your coach, Coach Cal, is no stranger to producing pros. We'll get back to that a little bit later, but we want to talk more about how you ended up in Kentucky. You were from Maryland, my home state as well. Shout out to you. You ended up in Kentucky, and now you're taking this new step into New York. When you heard the Knicks call your name, what went through your mind thinking of New York?
Actually, the Thunder had called my name, and then I heard a trade going to Minnesota, so I thought I was going to Minnesota. And then I found out like 2 minutes later that I was going to New York. And the first thing I could think of is really just how close I was to being home. My mom and people would be able to come to my games and things like that. But, you know, New York is kind of like Kentucky. I feel like, you know, at Kentucky, we are the only basketball or, you know, pro sports team, quote unquote. So, you know, we're kind of the face of kind of Kentucky. So New York basketball, I know they expect a lot of their players, you know, high expectations, coming in to work every day. So, you know, I feel like I'm no stranger to hard work and, you know, high expectations.
I'm glad that you clarified that, because I was like, New York is like Kentucky. How?
Yeah, definitely not like the living style at all.
Wow. We are not going to shade any other NBA organization, but I must say, of the 3 organizations you just named, by far, New York is the best city, my guy. Okay, so you're going to play in Madison Square Garden. I know there's been some tournaments there. Have you played in the Garden?
Twice.
Okay, so now you're going to play in the Garden as a professional. What goes through your mind?
I feel like it's a shooter's gym. I feel like the rims are soft, nets are long. So, and I just like the feel of that gym. Even in the warm-ups, in both games, you can feel like the energy and buzz. It's not like playing in any regular arena. It's something different, you know, when you're playing in Madison Square Garden. So I think just that energy and buzz, that's what I'm going to look forward to the most.
Definitely. Now, we keep talking about your award, SEC Player of the Year. Your team was 15-3 during the regular season. Your motivation, Immanuel, the season didn't necessarily start off the way you might have envisioned, right? But ultimately, you become SEC Player of the Year over Anthony Edwards. Your team is outstanding. What motivates you?
I think a lot of things, proving haters wrong and doubters wrong and proving myself right is definitely one. Not wanting to be average. I feel like anybody can, you know, just do the mediocre, but just trying to go above and beyond and trying to go past your expectation and what you think you can do. Even when you set goals, just trying to go past those goals and make new ones. And I think really just trying to be the best version of myself that I can be is always going to be something I strive to do.
When you look back at your 2 years at Kentucky under Coach Cal, all your terrific teammates, what's a memory that stands out?
Man, I feel like for me, something that it may not just be a memory, but just overall, I feel like practice at Kentucky. Even though we were competing and getting after it and things like that, even coming to practice was fun. It wasn't something that, you know, I didn't look forward to, or I got to go to practice again, or, you know, we got 3 hours of this. You know, it was something that I actually look forward to, you know, being around that culture of winning and competing and having fun. I feel like that was something that I look forward to every day. It was fun.
I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because I think fans can't always appreciate how intense practices are compared to the product that they finally see on the court. What would you want fans to know about the effort that it takes to be good and achieve success at a high level behind the scenes?
Yeah, I feel like in order for you to shine in front of, you know, millions and millions of people, you know, on the court, you got to outwork a lot of people in front of nobody, you know, empty gyms with nobody rebounding for you sometimes, early morning, 6 a.m., late night, 1 a.m. So it's a lot that goes into it. Kenny Payne, assistant with the Knicks now, he actually was basically in charge of all our conditioning at Kentucky. So anytime he told us to get on the line, we knew we was running for our lives. So
Kenny is definitely on our list of questions. We're going to touch on that a little bit later. But when did you know, or when did you actually acknowledge, Immanuel, that you had a chance to become a professional athlete and play in the NBA?
I think it was my sophomore year in high school. I started to get really good. Colleges started to call me. But where it really clicked for me was my freshman year in high school. I had 2 senior guards ahead of me, and practice was over, and they had stayed after to like work out. And for me, I didn't really play any high-level basketball before that. So for me, seeing that, I'm like, why are they working so hard? Like, what are they doing? Practice is over. You should be going home playing video games and things like that. But for me, seeing that, I took that with me. You know, I'll never forget that day, and I think that's hard work is what's got me here and will continue to keep me going.
Give us some more details of the story, Immanuel. Did you jump in that workout with them, or did you just take note of that's what they were doing?
After they left, I went and worked out. But for me, I was just in awe. I just didn't understand what was going on. I'm like, for me in my mind, I'm just like, practice is over. What are they doing? Just go home. Like, and then for seeing that and then moving on, you know, like I said, I'm gonna just take that with me. I'll never forget that memory.
I hope you're still friends with those gentlemen.
Absolutely.
There you go. I love that. All right, let's take a question from one of our Knicks season ticket members.
Hi, Emmanuel. My name is Spencer, and I've been a season ticket holder on the Chase Bridge for the last 5 years. Welcome to the NBA. and I'm wondering what's going to be your biggest adjustment moving from the college game to the pro game.
I think the biggest adjustment will really just be probably the strength. Speed and strength of the game is much faster than college. Even moving from high school, going to Kentucky, it was a lot different. So, going from Kentucky to the NBA, just getting a lot stronger, a lot faster. Just trying to work on that stuff.
Though, Emmanuel, the league is sort of, I won't say that it's completely changing, but there are guys of your build, right, that are very successful. So when you talk about getting stronger, is that game strength, or will you be lifting weights, or have you thought about that kind of thing?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both as far as just because even guys like, my build is kind of slender, skinny, but I feel like I'm strong for being that. And I'm not comparing myself to Kevin Durant anyway, but he's somebody who's, skinny, but I feel like he's strong for how skinny he is. So just being able to be strong in my movements and things like that, I feel like it's something that I'm going to continue to work on.
Not get pushed off the spot. I love that. In your career so far, Emmanuel, who had the most impact on you as an athlete?
Most impact, I'd probably say my mom, just how hard she works. I probably get that from her. She's somebody who was started off as a teacher, then got fired from that job. Next job was a teacher. And then I think she got fired again, and now she's a vice principal. So just looking at her and how hard she works, she doesn't quit, determination. She works really hard. So I feel like I get that from her.
I'm sure that the way you just told that story, the bottom line is that mom is now a vice principal and that she was resilient at each turn and each time she was met with adversity. What is the best piece of advice your coach and or teammates have ever given you?
Best piece of advice. I'll probably say one piece of advice PJ Washington gave me my sophomore year. This was his rookie year in the league. He just told me to kill myself every day in practice so that the game becomes easy. And I think that's one of the ways that I really became successful in the game. The game started to get easier because I was just going so hard every day in practice.
I love that. Part of practice is knowing how to properly prepare without exhausting yourself. So how did you kind of make sure that you were fulfilling the intensity level you needed in practice to make sure that you were prepared for games?
If it was a day before a game, I might go a little bit lighter. But if we had nothing the next day, even as a team, I feel like if we had nothing the next day, those were always going to be our hardest practice days just because he knew he could run us to death and be able to get away with it because we knew we had another day of not having a game.
Right. We're having this conversation and you already have sort of set the table, but what can Knicks fans expect from your game?
Besides the hard work, I feel like, on the court, I feel like I'm a really good shooter, can defend. I feel like I didn't get to show it as much at Kentucky, but I feel like I'm a really good passer as well. Lobs and skip passes and things like that, getting in the lane. And just somebody who's going to come in with a open mindset, trying to learn and trying to get better each and every day.
You actually shot a higher percentage from behind the arc than you did inside the 2-point range. What was that about?
I have no idea. That was definitely not on my list of goals. But definitely working on, both aspects of my game as far as finishing around the rim and three-point shooting.
Love that for sure. Who or do you model your game after anyone in particular, a player or an athlete?
Not specifically one player. I just try to take bits and pieces and try to put it into my own game. I feel like my game's unique to me, but I look at a lot of guys like CJ McCollum, the way he can, play on or off the ball. He can shoot it, get in the lane and with floaters and things like that. Lou Williams. So just guys that, have kind of that 6'3", 6'4", can shoot, pass, dribble, and defend and things like that. So.
Okay, so let's build a player. You just told me CJ McCollum playing on and off the ball. Who are some other guys that you pulled pieces from their game with? Let's hear the names.
My favorite player is probably Steph Curry, just the way he shoots the ball. He can dribble. Well, he can pretty much do everything, but dribbling would probably be Kyrie Irving. And then I'd probably say, I guess that would really be – okay, and then I'd probably go with LeBron James IQ.
Who's the defender?
Defender? Defender. Kobe. The best defender I've seen, Kobe.
Okay. You can't ever go wrong with Kobe, God rest his soul. Let's take another question from one of our season ticket members.
Yo, what's up, Emmanuel? My name is Terry. I got season tickets now for 2 years. I sit in section 201, diehard Knicks fan, as you can tell. Welcome to New York, man. We're very happy to have you here. I want to ask you a bit about your shooting. Obviously, you know, it's one of your strengths right now. We've seen you hit the three ball in college. So let me ask you, when did shooting become such a big thing for you as a player growing up? And who are some of the three-point shooters that you admired growing up? Welcome to New York. Expecting big things. Happy to have you here, man. Peace.
Appreciate it. But one of the things for me, I actually used to be somebody who was like a pass first point guard, could only get in the lane and score layups and floaters. I actually kind of changed my game a lot to working on it, you know, just pretty much every day grinding and just repetition after repetition, thousands and thousands of shots, just working on it, and eventually became a really good shooter. Some of the shooters that I look up to, obviously Steph Curry is probably the biggest one. He's my favorite player all around. So Steph Curry, Klay Thompson is really good also with the Warriors. Ray Allen, it's a whole bunch of great shooters. Reggie Miller, so just all those great shooters. I feel like, you know, try to look at them and just work on my game even more.
Ray Allen and Reggie Miller. I know you wasn't watching a ton of basketball when Reggie was doing his thing. You're too young. So you're talking YouTube clips now?
Yeah, all that. I try to go back in history and find all the best shooters.
I appreciate that. That's being a student of the game all around. That's tremendous, Emmanuel. We're so excited to see you on the floor. Okay, so you mentioned shooting and adding that to your game. How did you go about doing that? Were you the guy that got in the gym form shooting, starting in front of the rim and work your way back, or did you just kind of walk in and start jacking up threes? I hope it's not the latter, but please share it with us.
Nah, definitely always form shooting, and then trying to just move back more and more mid-range and then the three and then past the three. I feel like that's how you build a really good shooter. And then just reps, shooting while you're tired, conditioning, and then shooting. So that I think those are the best way to, you know, simulate, you know, game situations.
Now, you said yourself that you weren't originally you were a pass first point guard. About what age would you say that was how you would describe your game?
I think to my senior year in high school, junior or senior year, I kind of changed my game, just realizing that the game now is most of the point guards, even the high level point guards, they all score at a really high clip. And then that allows them to be able to create for their teammates and things like that because the defense is so focused on them scoring. So just being able to, you know, adapt to wherever the game goes, I feel like is something that I always look into. Okay,
so when you started to add shooting to your game as a part of a tool in your tool belt, do you remember the game when you started shooting in game and it was clicking for you and you realized, wait, I'm a legitimate threat at this too?
The earliest I could probably remember is 2 games. One was it was a tournament. It was my sophomore year in high school. It was called Live in AC, and I had just got done working out the day before, like really early in the morning, with my jump shot. And then the next day, I had seen like the same shots go in that I was working on. So I was like, yeah, I could probably be really good at shooting if I just continue to work on it.
Repetition is the key to this game that we love. Okay. This season, Emmanuel, you are joining a new staff led by Coach Thibodeau, who's in his 17th season coaching. What do you know about him? I know you're a student of the game, and what are you looking forward to most about working with him?
Coach Thibodeau, he sent me a lot of stuff through the film guy, Scott. So I've just been trying to, you know, get that stuff ingrained in my head. As far as, you know, he's a great X's and O's guy. He's had a lot of great players, a lot of good point guards. So just trying to, you know, soak up all the knowledge that I can from him to try to be the best player I can be. I feel like it's going to be big for me.
Definitely. I mean, he's been coaching in this game as long as you've been alive, Slim, for sure. Now, here's the question that you started to preempt me on earlier. Kenny Payne obviously is an assistant. You obviously have ties with him from Kentucky. What are you most excited about in terms of joining him on this level?
It's going to be great. I feel like, you know, he knows everything that I'm capable of. And more, he pushes me, you know, every day that I was at Kentucky, he pushed me to be the best player, best person I could be. So just looking forward to working with him because I know that he can get the most out of me as far as, you know, just pushing me to be the best player I can be.
Speaking of the Kentucky ties, there are a few Wildcat alums on the current roster. Are you excited to play with those guys and represent Coach Cal in many ways?
Yeah, I played with Kev Knox before on the USA 1700 national team. We won the gold medal. Julius Randle has come to Kentucky a couple times and worked out, so I got to meet him at Kentucky. Nerlens Noel, I don't think I've met before, but just seeing all the tapes that he had, like the record for most shot blocks in the game at Kentucky. So really excited to working with those Kentucky guys.
I've heard guys from various blue blood programs talk about the brotherhood from being on that stage. Like you mentioned, Kentucky is essentially the pro team in Lexington. What is that brotherhood like? Can you describe it?
I feel like it's like no other, just because, everybody's coming from being this McDonald's All-American, being the guy at their high school, and then coming in and we're all similar and trying to blend in as a team in a short amount of time, usually, like 6 to 7 months, we've never met each other. And then we got to try to go, make a deep run in the NCAA tournament and try to win a national championship. I feel like, that's something that is unique and different from any other, college program.
You rattled off a few of the names of guys who you pulled pieces from their game to add to your game. But who are you most excited to play against as a professional athlete in the league now?
Would definitely be Steph and Curry, without a doubt.
Are you going to talk a little trash here for us first, or no?
I ain't going to talk no trash just because I know if somebody was talking trash to me when they first came in the league, I'll probably try to go for 50. So I ain't gonna push no buttons I don't want to start.
Smart man. I was going to stop you anyway because right now we're all about the team. I wasn't going to set you up like that. Okay, let's take one more question from one of our season ticket members.
Hi, Emmanuel. Welcome to New York and welcome to the Knicks. My name is Stephen Penn and I sit in section 114 and I've been a season ticket member for 2 years. My question is, did you have any idea what to expect about the draft and did it come true?
Thank you for your question. And I did a little bit. It was kind of like the Knicks were targeting me a little bit. I was really close with the GM and all the coaches and the front office. So, I had a good feeling I might have, but I wasn't 100% sure. But then when they did pick me, it was a relief, like, wow, I'm going to the New York Knicks. So I couldn't have asked, for a better organization to draft.
Okay, Emmanuel, we have some rapid fire questions that we're going to get into. Okay. But before I go there, make sure I follow on Instagram, got you locked in, follow your girl back if you get around to it. I do want to talk a little bit about your family, and I know that you're very close to your parents. They were with you draft night. How much has their support meant to you over the years?
It's meant a lot, just as far as, them. Well, yeah, them just really following me everywhere, tournaments and things like that. So it's great to have, my whole family around me.
Fantastic. And now you are welcomed into this Knicks family, and we're excited to see you take the next step in your career. Having said that, my guy, we're going to do our speed round questions, okay? So don't overthink it. Just, whatever pops in your mind. If you could play with one player in NBA history, who would it be?
Michael Jordan.
Why?
Because I want to win.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay, on the MJ note, you have to pick this Jordan and forsake all others. We're talking about the shoes. Which one is it?
Jordan 1.
Okay, my man, classic. If you could play against one player in NBA history, who would it be?
Steph Curry.
Okay, all right. I like that. A high bar. All right. If your phone died, Emmanuel, what app would you not be able to live without?
Snapchat.
Really?
Yeah.
I bet that's got to be an age thing because Snapchat is still a thing. I didn't even know that. All right. Which actor would play you in a movie?
Which actor would play me in a movie? Kevin Hart.
Why?
Because he's funny.
Are you funny?
Yeah, once you get to know me.
Oh, okay. So next roundtable, we'll do the funny side of it. If you could join a music group, a band, whatever, we know you play the drums and the saxophone, but if you had to pick one, which instrument would you play?
I'll play the drums.
Would this would be, what kind of band would it be? What kind of music would it be?
Probably jazz.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna take a sidebar on this. Please tell us how your love for music developed, Emmanuel. That's so cool.
First of all, it started in church. Well, actually, before that, it started, every morning grabbing a whole bunch of pots and pans and putting them out on the floor and just going to town with some pens and things like that and forks and stuff. My mom has a picture of all that stuff, and that's really how the drum started, and then I just really got good at it. So, and then I played the saxophone from pretty much third grade to high school. So, if I haven't played it since probably college, but if I picked it up again, I could probably do a little something.
Since college, as in 8 months ago when you were still in college?
Since college, as in beginning of sophomore year and the freshman year.
Okay. The holidays are coming up. If you had to, could you play us a holiday tune on your saxophone? Can we get a little "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas"?
If I can practice for a couple weeks, yeah, I could do something like that.
Okay, that's skills. It's just like riding a bike. You just got to dust it off. That's fine. Okay, back to the rapid fire. I'm distracted. Sorry. If you had to choose, this is perfect. If you had to choose, what would be your theme song?
Theme song?
Theme song.
Any song.
Any song.
Theme song. The first song that comes to my mind, I don't know why, but the Kentucky Fight song. I've heard that song so many times that it's just like unbelievable. So I don't know why that song came to my mind.
I think it's in your soul. You bleed Big Blue, clearly. But I think you could do a little bit more swag, a few more sounds in the background, a little bit more dimension in your theme song. But we'll work on that later. All right, what is your favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show? Probably ESPN First Take.
Do you have any media aspirations once your playing career is over?
Yes, I do.
Wow, okay. All right, fantastic. What is your favorite video game?
Favorite video game, 2K.
Okay. Did you get a PS5?
I got one coming in.
Okay, all right. I see you, bro. That's what's up. What was your first job?
Basketball player.
You've never been a job, Emmanuel?
No.
You've never been a basketball camp counselor, nothing?
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't get paid, but yeah, I've been one, yeah, if that counts.
Wow, this is your first paid opportunity? I need to be like you then. My first paid opportunity would have this much payment on the other side. That's fantastic, though. Good for you, babe. You have achieved your goals. All right. If you had one meal for the rest of your life, you can only have this one meal that includes 4 things, what would it be?
Hibachi, rice, chicken, shrimp, and broccoli.
Okay, I'll give it a good hibachi. Have you ever attempted hibachi in your kitchen?
Yeah, I have.
Like the flames and stuff, the way they do it at the Japanese steakhouse?
No flames, but we had a nutritionist. She was teaching us how to make food, so she taught me how to make some hibachi.
So can you cook?
I won't go that far, but I can make some hibachi, though.
Fair enough. Play to your strengths. Okay. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Absolutely not.
Okay, all right. Ever tried it or just can't even wrap your mind around it?
I'm a picky eater, so that don't even go together for me.
Do you like the 2 items separate, pineapple and pizza?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, all right, picky eater, good to know. You're going to have to get some of the delicious good eats at Madison Square Garden. What was your favorite subject in school?
Favorite subject in school, either math or like the animal, I guess I don't even know what to call it, how you call it, the animal class I had.
Is that not science?
Nah, it was separate from science.
Okay.
It was all animals.
So as a kid, did you enjoy like the zoo or like you just like that class?
Even now, I still watch like on Netflix, Planet Earth and stuff and all that. So I'm big on animals.
So did you watch Tiger King?
No, I haven't.
Don't. Everybody went crazy and it's don't waste. No, don't. You don't need to. Okay. What is your dream car?
Dream car, G-Wagon. Yeah, probably G-Wagon.
Okay. Fantastic. What was your first pair of Jordans?
Low bread Jordan 11s.
Nice. That's a good pick. Brett, that's a classic. That's a classic. All right, Emmanuel. So that concludes rapid fire. Not too much heat, right? You handled that.
Yeah.
Okay. This is our final question for you, though. You've been so thoughtful. Thank you for sharing your time with us. I know you've got a car wash of media to do as you are welcomed into your new home as a New York Knick. When you think of how you operate, what would you say is your creed, your motto, or the words that you try to live by on a daily basis?
For me, it's always keep God first, help other people, put other people before yourself, and just really work hard for whatever you want. I think those three things, you can never go wrong.
It sounds like those three things have served you well. Emmanuel, thank you for hanging out with us. We wish you the best of luck. We cannot wait to see you on the floor at the world's most famous arena in Madison Square Garden. Thank you so much.
Thank you.